We're going into the 4 breaks? No. 3, right? Okay. Yeah. You feel so? I don't know the conversation. Yeah, we'll see the conversation here. Okay. Okay.
One ecosystem, you know them. We not frightened for nobody, but we respect everybody, and we better than everybody. So we will run with anybody. No fear, no better than we. No kind, no better than we. Step on me one and say, one ecosystem to the world you say. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something, uno do something, do something. I'm not talking. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something, uno do something, do something. I'm not bag of leg chasing. Aye.
Good evening to Trinidad and Tobago, good evening Caribbean, and good evening world. Welcome to this wonderful show, Beyond 2021. It's season 4 and it's episode 23. Okay, it's a very, very calm and cool Wednesday evening, the 25th of May, 2022. Beyond 2021 is that show that takes you into the immersive technology, the emerging technology, the metaverse as it were. Things like blockchain technology, digital currencies, and organic cryptocurrency. And this show is being brought to you live here on Gaia the Caribbean every Wednesday evening. We welcome you one and all to this very interactive show. We hope that you pay attention, pull up a chair, call a friend, get excited about this show because we are releasing information, current information to educate you so that you can position yourself to learn and to grow and to earn. This evening, our topic is, are you a sheep or are you a shepherd? One of our co-hosts, Mr. Cliff Samuel Singh, came up with this topic. So we welcome all our co-hosts, Mr. Cliff Samuel Singh, his beautiful wife, Donna Samuel Singh, and the intelligent Mr. Dwayne Cadiz. This evening, we want to get into it. What is this thing about being a sheep or being a shepherd? We welcome you, guys and lady, to our show this evening. We also want to send greetings to all our members in Trinidad, in the Caribbean, and in the world at large. We want to also greet our captain, Mr. Cordell King James, wherever he is. I think he is in Vietnam right now. We send out greetings to you, my dear brother, wishing you all God's blessings and success. So welcome, lady and gentlemen. Let's have your opening remarks.
Well, before we go into any opening remarks, when we start a conversation, we have to put our disclaimer. But we want to make sure we let them know we are not. You have to get a little closer here. Let me get it out.
We are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice, nor are we your financial advisors.
Okay.
The topics discussed on this show are purely for educational considerations and are not meant to be misconstrued as financial investment advice. We simply speak from our personal experience, and as a result, we just hope that it is of some enlightenment to the listeners. But before I say anything, I must give way to my esteemed colleague, right? Smiling Dwayne Cadiz. Is Cadiz or Cadiz? Which one is it?
I'll take Cadiz. I'll take Cadiz.
Because I know a lot of people say Cadiz.
That's quite all right. Listen, when you're about to cut the check, I'll give you the correct spelling so there'll be no problem, right?
I got you loud and clear.
A pleasant evening to the viewers, and of course, I'm really, really excited to be here. The energy is high. I'm very appreciative of my esteemed colleagues, you, Cliff, Donna, and Brother Noel. I'm glad to be a bigger part of the ecosystem. I'm glad to be a part of the ecosystem, I should say. And one of the reasons I'm really excited is because I took a look at the split barometer, and that can be seen in our back offices, in our digital wallets. And I'm excited because I know once that split barometer reaches those high 90s, it means therefore in a little bit, we are going to increase in our buying power. And that has been one of the highs so far, being a part of this global network for the past 4 years. It's been 4 years, Cliff, since my 2017 journey to Panama under the auspices of Cordell King James himself. You know, and it should have been a whole year before, but like a lot of the viewers that are looking at our program this evening, I went and I spoke to somebody who didn't know anything about cryptocurrency and was misled for a whole year until I got back in contact with King and I was put on the right road, and now I'll never, never look back. And of course, before we get off and running, I want to say congratulations to my newest team member who joined the team just this evening, Ms. Janet. Ms. Janet is 82 years old and she's putting a lot of younger people in shame. Yeah, so big up Ms. Janet, love in the house, and thank you for having confidence in our ecosystem. And it just goes to show, if she is that age, and she's also thinking about legacy, because let's face it, we're all not going to live to be 100 and plus, right? But we can show our love to the next generation by leaving something behind that they can benefit from. So I'm really, really excited to feel the energy going through the entire community. And of course, all of that split barometer activity is not about speculation. There isn't any inflation in there or overinflated markets or inflated figures. Cliff and Donna and Brother Noel, it's about pure productivity. So what's happening right now is our deal shaker is going on in Vietnam. They have their conference there, and economic activity is taking place. And as a byproduct of that, movement is happening in the commercial world, in our space, and we are benefiting from that movement by the value increase of our ones in terms of the buying power. So I'm eternally grateful to be a part of this network, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So sorry for my long-winded run-up tonight, guys, but it's really necessary. Oh, and one more thing, shout out to Ms. Odette. Ms. Odette is a recipient of a Mother's Day gift of a digital wallet with $2,000 worth of ones in it. And now she wants to be educated as well. So I know she's taking in tonight's program. Congratulations again, and welcome to our global community. Thanks, guys.
Never long-winded. Never. How you can talk about whatever we have to put in here? We are giving people something to think about. And listen, with that said, the video we're going to open with it. All right, Cliff, want to say something? Sorry.
The woman missed programs from the last 2 years. She now come on and she got the. But
goodness,
you know, Ada come on last because Brother Noel described Donna as the beautiful Mrs. Samlal Singh, the intelligent Mr. Kadies, and he said Mr. Cliff Samlal Singh, and say so. All I get is a Mr. plain Mr. So I know my place, I get put in my place, but it's all right. I try to rise to the occasion, man. I go try.
You're the finance man, the man with the numbers.
But Noel also mentioned that, you know, when you start addressing the listeners, he say, you know, conditions are cool outside. So I just hope that tonight, during the program and after the program, listeners will no longer feel cool. I'm hoping so. That is why the title of tonight's program is, Are You a Sheep or a shepherd. I just know that Dwayne called out 2 persons who are aspiring to be a shepherd. They're already on the trail. Those 2 persons, the 82-year-old lady, is a lady?
Yes.
Right? And Miss Odette, right? Gosh, fellas, men, where you all? Only the women seeing the wisdom in what we're talking about. Come on, guys. Come on, man. Hey. Anyhow, we have a video. It's 6 minutes long. Some of you may have heard it. It's on Trinidad. Please take time and listen to it because we're going to discuss that after. Right? So, Master Control, let go the video and the listeners now.
The nation is the largest. Now, the war's threat to Europe's energy security is countries looking for other suppliers. Ramping up production is Trinidad and Tobago. The nation is the largest natural gas producer in the Caribbean. Before the pandemic, it was the world's 8th biggest LNG exporter, according to BP. The government expects output to return to pre-pandemic levels by next year. Stuart Young is the energy minister at Trinidad and Tobago, is with me now. Minister, grateful that you're with me. I was listening, I saw the G7 the other day and read the statement, and I saw about how cutting off or weaning off Russian oil and gas would require extra from everybody else. How can Trinidad and Tobago help Europe, or anybody indeed, by producing more?
Thank you very much, Mr. Quest. It's indeed a pleasure and a privilege to be here with you and this international audience today. Trinidad and Tobago is a twin island state with the southernmost Caribbean islands in the Caribbean, and we're only about 5,100 square kilometers. How can we contribute? We're looking on at this international crisis taking place, and as you said, we see ourselves as punching way above our belt. We have been a significant gas producer, LNG producer, for the last few decades. At our height of production, we were pumping out about 770 million MMBTU of LNG a year on an annual basis. We have 4 trains. So we see the ability. We have additional capacity right now, Richard, and we are eager to step in to assist in what is going on globally in whatever way we can. It's not only on the LNG front, but we're also a significant ammonia producer in Trinidad as well, ammonia and methanol, and we have capacity there as well. So as a gas producer and someone who turns gas into both LNG as well as what we call petchems and ammonia, methanol, urea, UAN, we are ready to do what we can to assist with what we see as this crisis taking place.
And also internally within the country, the increased price that we're now seeing for both gas and for oil must, it's an ill wind that blows no good, I suppose, but you must be doing better as a result of your energy export.
Well, we certainly are. I heard you talk about pre-pandemic stages. We've gone through yet another cycle coming out of the difficulties of the early stages of the pandemic. And yes, we are seeing income increase as a result, especially on the LNG side, as well as the ammonia side of pricing. As you know, with ammonia prices, they've climbed from around $180 a metric ton. They're now hovering around $1,400 a metric ton. So there is a significant increase in revenue to these companies, etc. And we will see some in our coffers as well.
What are you going to do with it? I mean, what are you going to do? To the extent that the windfall that you are enjoying is tremendous amounts of revenue.
Well, Richard, I wouldn't put it as tremendous amounts of revenue. As a government, what you're doing is you're really making those revenue increases off of taxation. So you wait for it to come in. But as a government, just coming out of a very difficult time with the pandemic, you have bills. So we'll be paying our bills. We survived the early stages of the pandemic. The government revenue is used to look after approximately 1.4 million people here in Trinidad and Tobago who, quite frankly, have quite a good life. So we'll be spending it on our education, which we've spent billions on in terms of our currency and just other things that are necessary for the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Fanny, let's get to the issue of how, in your view, does the world wean itself off Russian oil and gas? I mean, we can have a long discussion about was Europe foolish for not weaning itself earlier post the annexation of Crimea in 2014. But we are where we are, and the difficulty now for Germany, for Italy, for the Netherlands, for all these other countries, Hungary says to withdraw Russian oil and gas would be like hitting the economy with an atom bomb.
What you have to look at is globally what other countries can help contribute by ramping up production. So that's where we want to come in and assist. But you know, Richard, there's another conversation taking place with respect to weaning yourself off of gas. We see it as completely different. So there's a whole renewable conversation, which we're in support of, but we see gas as the cleanest hydrocarbon fossil fuel. And we actually think gas is going to be around for decades. So for example, in Trinidad, 99.9% of our electricity needs are derived from the natural gas that we produce. So how does the rest of the world, and in particular Europe, deal with this current crisis? You have to look at where there's alternative supply of natural gas, and hey, Trinidad and Tobago is one of those places.
Minister, very grateful for you tonight. A different perspective on this. Actually, I'll be quite honest, I had no idea really that TNT was such a huge, such a big player in this, and I'm delighted that we've covered it tonight. We learn something new every day, sir. I'm grateful. Thank you. As we continue, it's Quest Means Business. Elon Musk has confirmed one of the changes he would bring to Twitter. If he sees
big business.
You should start to speak first.
Yes, sir.
Go right ahead, my brother.
Yeah. You heard when Mr. Quest ended up saying, I never knew, and he said certain things about what was said, that Trinidad, he never knew Trinidad and Tobago was such a big player in this industry. Well, I want to say, I never knew that 1.4 million people, according to Stuart Young, enjoy a good life in this country. I am one of the 1.4 million. I don't know what he refers to as good life, right? Because I have been speaking to persons more and more, and a guy said it recently, was talking to on Sunday. It seems as though because Trinidad and Tobago has relied on oil and gas, it has inherited a curse that is this.
It has inherited what, Cliff? I missed that.
It inherited a curse.
Okay.
And you would want to know, but no, this is just normal man in the street. But remember, Mr. Stuart Young is a learned man, so he would know really what he's saying, and we, just mere mortals down here, would be saying this thing, and it has to be clearly, we don't understand what's going on. So he knows, right? I want to say, first of all, something doesn't line up for me. All right, tell me if I'm wrong, guys. Okay, so according to Mr. Quest, he was talking to Mr. Young, and he was talking about all the windfalls that we'll be getting and so on. First of all, when asked what does the government intend to do with all this money, all Mr. Young could talk about is that, listen, we have bills to pay out of the pandemic. So you ain't have nothing to talk about what development you're going to invest in so that would benefit the country. Wow.
Hello from Mexico.
Juan Jose from Mexico is saying hello. We are returning hola to you, sir.
That's right. Hola.
Buenas noches.
Yeah.
Right, thank you very much. Right? So, the only thing Mr. Young could talk about is bills we had to pay. I mean, come on, that just shows the lack of foresight.
Yes.
Right? That's all I could think. Here's a perfect opportunity to show yourself in the limelight, to show that you are a progressive third world nation. All right? But instead, we'll be labeled as third world and lower down, because all we could talk about was pay bills. That is so disheartening to start with. Right.
Cliff, could you allow me to interject?
Sure, jump in.
All right, here's what. In respect of what the minister had to say, it brought me back to our financial educational courses that our organization sells. And one of the major fundamental basic principles it speaks to us about is not putting all our eggs in one basket, right? As you said at the beginning, because we have oil and natural gas, it has become a curse to us because we're solely dependent on that commodity or those commodities that we neglect all the other options, things like innovation, things like manufacturing, you know, and areas in which could develop our citizens to add more value to not only our society, but the global society, because that is how value is created, when we add value to the marketplace. So I believe we've missed the mark, basically, by putting all our eggs in one basket.
Well, you're so right, Wayne, because we have missed, we no longer exercise our creative ability. We no longer look at other options of gaining revenue because, as you just rightfully said, we hinge everything along oil and gas. So it right there, so we no longer had to look at what else we can do, what other industries we can develop. I mean, all right, that is one thing. A next thing that I found that doesn't line up. Now, guys, tell me, I might be going, you see, I might be looking at things wrong. I don't want people, first of all, to jump and say, but we're anti-PNM or anti-government. No, I anti-stupidness. That's what I'm saying. You understand? Let me tell you something. If we are a 1.4 million persons enjoying a good lifestyle, according to Stuart Young, how come, according to Dr. Rowley, who is the Prime Minister, recently it has been in the news, and when I say recently, the last couple of days, where he has spoken about, he has alluded that we have been receiving in the past grants from the Gates Foundation to alleviate poverty in the country. So much so that one of the grants that was supposed to have reached there, we realized was a scammer looking to play a hoax and that kind of thing. I'm not talking about the scammer part now. All I'm talking about is that it has been confirmed by Dr. Rowley that the country is a recipient of grants by the Gates Foundation to alleviate poverty. Now, Mr. Stuart Young, if 1.4 million persons enjoying a good lifestyle, as you say, why are we receiving grants to alleviate poverty and we have such nice windfalls? I don't understand. That's the first thing.
The Matsen.
Right.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the next thing. Secondly, if we're receiving grants in the past on a continuous basis, you know, I have never heard in any annual budget presented where these grants are listed as part of our revenue or part of any money coming in. And it's like, where has that been stated? I don't know. I went through the budgets, a couple of them now. I don't go through everything in detail, so maybe I've missed something. But I've never seen or heard in the public domain before this that we have been receiving money, and I'm wondering what other grants we receive besides the Gates Foundation that we don't know about.
Or we don't account for.
No, okay, maybe they account for it, but you know, in accounting I have learned there's something where you call compensating errors, in that you can have an error on one side and an error on the other side and it balances off.
Balance off.
Yeah, that is why when people want to tell me accounting is a science, I tell them they lie.
All right.
You understand? And you see, this is what I'm saying tonight. I hope all the listeners out there don't be cool, because that nonsense that I had to listen to just now, it was, all I could say is it deserves a big, according to Arnold Roberts,
a wet one.
A wet one, you say?
Yeah, a wet one.
Yeah. It don't make sense. It don't line up, and people in Trinidad and Tobago going to be just listening and accept that nonsense. And I can't believe I couldn't stomach it. And I will pause here because I thank God I don't suffer from ulcers. God has been good to me with my health. You understand? My wife sometimes just try to act on it there, but a good thing she does balances off with some, which is smile.
Errors on one side and error on the next side. That's really balance, right?
I don't think I learn how to laugh. But you see that nonsense I listened to just now? I really couldn't take it on for much longer. Thank God.
But maybe it was said in what I would say like a pre of what will come. Because we are now going to pump up the natural gas. And
the gentleman said that we have been receiving, Mr. Quest said, I never knew Trinidad was such a big player in the industry.
I hear that.
And the windfalls, what are you doing with the windfalls that you have been getting?
I hear that, but maybe nothing down in the future as well.
The windfalls that you have been getting down in the future?
Listen, folks. Listen.
Are you mixing past tense and future to get in one?
Listen, folks. Listen.
Yeah.
Can I speak now?
Of course.
Right. The guy's program is Quest means business, right?
Right.
You know, he's with I think it's CNN.
Yes.
Right. Quest means business. I wonder if Mr. Stuart Young mean business. You know, we have been enjoying God's resources.
Yes, that's God's
resources. Tobago for a number of years, right? And this whole idea about the windfall, as you said, you know, greater production of gas, and you know, having other countries benefit from it, and we making profits. Where is it going? Why does it have to take this scenario now to fix what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago?
Good question.
You know, we have been enjoying it for years.
Are you sure it's going to be fixed?
That's what I was wondering.
That's another issue. That's another issue. What has been the government doing with the money, with our money for
but they tell you in a budget.
So many years? Huh?
In a budget, they tell you what they do with the money.
No. Every 15 to 20 meters that you drive is a pothole, is a bump. Your car shaking up, you're damaging your car, right? There's massive poverty in Trinidad and Tobago, as one of the contestants truly said.
Yes.
You look at Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, we have been to Panama, right? We've been to Vietnam, right? Some of us have traveled to other countries. And at least the areas that we went to, it was clean, it was well kept. Almost every meter you can go in Trinidad is a paper, is some rubbish, is some urine all over, feces all over, vagrants in the heart of the country, going around the roundabout in Port of Spain is like in the Bocas. Every 10 to 15 meters. So we have asphalt, we have oil, we have gas. We have been making billions and billions of dollars. The school system is in chaos, right? The children are depressed and frustrated. They are fighting and beating up one another. There's all kinds of allegation about pedophilia in government and secrets being covered up and boys being vulgar, high-profile people, so-called. There's issue of food crisis imminent in the entire world. Trinidad have so much land. We could have fields and fields and fields and fields and fields of coconut. Coconut could be $3 for a coconut, right? We could be exporting coconut water and drinks all over. We have all types of fruits and vegetables, pawpaw and pineapples and watermelon and cantaloupe and all kinds of food. I mean, we are an exotic country. We should be the breadbasket for the Caribbean and be exporting so much more to bring in foreigners. Katie's talk about manufacturing. We should have factories for so many things in regards to food production and other industries. So I don't know about we being, you know, in a very good state with the index of poverty so high, right?
So Brother Noel, I just want to pause and read a comment from Hamza. Hamza is one of our listeners, right? And of course, you would realize not from Trinidad and Tobago. And
Yes.
he says the next generation of rich will not emerge from oil and gas,
right.
but from those who invested in the latest knowledge and skills of finance.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen. So let me just finish off here.
Sure.
You know, so Katie's made a reference to diversifying, and they've been talked about that for so many years. I think it's since 2015, right? The opposition, they have in their manifesto talks about this digital revolution. Present government also in their manifesto talked about it. The Prime Minister went to Estonia and talked about the digital identity. Now we know from the World Economic Forum, there are certain trends that are happening across the world, and governments of the world are, as it were, copycats, just following these international agendas and so on. Billions of dollars have been spent on vaccines, which cause so much side effects, which cause so much deaths, adverse events, and people are starving, Cliff. There's this, we made a little reference to innovation and to renewables. But why it is we have to wait for the 1%ers to engulf that space and pump $500 million US into it, when years ago we could have had blockchain farms, years ago we could have data mining farms, years ago we could have been in solar technology, in wind technology. I mean, we are a tropical country. Years ago we should have been on blockchain. Years ago we should have adopted organic cryptocurrency. So to me, you see the politicians out there, they're just on games. A lot of them are very corrupt. You could hardly find a really sincere, good one, you know, who is patriotic and really innovative, pushing for serious development. What about even tourism?
Don't forget we go into
way more advanced. You see? So this to me is just talk, and these people need to really step up in their game.
Well said, Brother Noel.
Yeah. Well said.
3 things as we go towards the break: problem, reaction, solution. Think about the Trinidad and Tobago and the global.
Okay, yes. Good point.
Get started now. Get started with your One Academy package. Get started with your starter package. It's only $1,600 TT. Get your financial education from the One Academy. Although it's a beginner package, the information you're going to get from your One Academy starter package, you would have more knowledge than 90% of the world's population on finance for just $1,600 TT. Let's create a revolution. Let's spread the epidemic of our One Academy, One Life. Get it today.
Welcome to the Antediluvian Nature Center of Life Extension and Health Recovery. Coming from the Garden of Eden, the Antediluvian Nature Center brings to you breakthrough medicines and anti-aging technologies for all ailments and diseases in the body, nutritional therapies, naturopathic treatments, as we create opportunities of hope and celebrate longevity. And remember, the healing is from God.
Do you know? What am I speaking about? Do you know what is cryptocurrency? Do you know what is blockchain technology? Are you aware of what we currently face on a regular basis with quantitative easing, fractional reserve lending? Do you know? I am inviting you to come out of the financial darkness and into financial light. The only way for us to achieve that is with education. And one particular type of education is what I'm speaking about. I'm asking you to join the One Academy. It is a financial revolution of teaching regarding introduction to finance, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, helping you understand the world of money and what is money. What is money? Money is simple. It is what we agree upon to exchange for goods and services. If you want full comprehension, join the One Academy.
When I'm training for professional competitions, men and women always ask me for advice. To women, I say push yourself harder than you ever have before and go beyond your comfort zone. Focus on your goals. Men, if I am willing to push myself to become Mr. Olympia in 2022, then I only have one thing to say to you. Bring your full 100.
Here we go again.
Yes, so
we are back.
Yes, so good evening once again. So I realized we needed to take a little chill pill, right, during our break. But as we said, the title of our program tonight is You Are Sheep or Shepherd. If you're still willing to be swooned and cajoled and swayed by the nice words of our so-called leaders, then you'll remain a sheep. I spend a lot of my time in Tobago, and I've seen what a sheep does. A sheep is just follow the leader. You have one sheep, and wherever that first sheep goes, the rest of sheep follow. Right? In fact, I've seen sheep collared by a snake in the pen, and the sheep don't even make noise when the snake come around. Imagine that. When you go by goat, no, goat is a different thing. You understand? But sheep now, the other thing. So, as a shepherd, however, you determine your own course. You select what course of action you want to do. You select those who you choose to listen to, right? And it doesn't only extend to government officials, because I'm going to show you now what we have been talking about to our financial people. The same financial system that we uphold and we hold dear to. Listen to this. Now, it's a bit humorous to listen to the video and listen to how he coins it. All right? Please listen carefully, listeners. That is why you're a listener, because you have to listen. All right? So, Master Control, let go of this video for a minute, please. Right?
A lot of what happens on Wall Street seems like a scam. Elon Musk's Twitter thing is one of the best examples, right? People argue that you cannot tax billionaires on the shares that they hold in a company because it is an unrealized gain, right? So they go like, yeah, you're worth 300 billion, but we can't tax you on those stocks because you haven't sold the shares. And I understand the argument. They go like, no, you don't have it. It's just what it's worth, because it could also crash, and then you have nothing, so we can't tax you on it. Then I'm like, okay, I understand that. Then Elon Musk offers to buy Twitter. In his offer, he goes, I'm putting up my Tesla stock as collateral. Then I'm like, so you do have it? Then he's like, no, I don't have it. I don't have it. I'm just going to say as collateral. So then they accept the offer. He now buys Twitter. Now that they've accepted his offer, he now goes to private equity and banks and like other rich people and whatever. He goes like, can you guys borrow me the money to buy Twitter? Because I don't want to sell any of my Tesla shares. But then they're like, what are we loaning it against? And he's like, well, my Tesla shares. Then I'm going like, wait, so you can buy a thing based on what you have, yes. But when we want to tax you, you can say, I don't have it. It's like such a fun game that like billionaires get to play because all their money is in that, right? Like if you earn your money as a salary, that your money just gets taxed. That's it. You can't be like the IRS comes and you can't be like, I don't have that money. You can't be like, that money's in the bank. I don't have that money. What money? It's in the bank. Only when I take it out, then you can tax me. For now, it's in the bank, IRS. No, IRS is like, don't worry, we've got your PIN number. We'll handle this. But then if you have billions in shares, you can then use that as money to then get more money, but not get taxed on any money because you don't have money. It seems to me that you then shouldn't be able to use a thing that's unrealized as collateral.
And the game of monopoly continues.
Yes,
when you have to finance, you have to wonder if it's really is monopoly we playing?
Yeah. Robert Kiyosaki talks about it in Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
And this is what the rich do. They find opportunities and they play games with other people's money. So here what? In reality, the people who are the most productive in life pays the most tax. Trevor Noah said that. He said, listen, we as employees pay tax right off the top. You don't escape. PAYE, 25% right off the top. And when you think about that, Cliff and Donna and Brother Noel, basically we work at 3 months in the year for free, eh?
You heard the first thing that Stuart said when the man asked him. He said, "But remember, we have to do taxation, taxes. Yeah. That's the first thing. The first thing to do is to tax us."
Yeah.
Well, here's something I'm gonna lego something on you now that Brother Noel has been alluding to in the past, but I hope you don't pop a blood vessel when I say it. Right? Well,
you won't pop a blood vessel.
We have been saying, especially Brother Noel, that this whole pandemic was a pandemic, right? We have been saying that a number of persons saying, you see them is control, what is the term is used?
Conspiracy theorists.
Conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
Well, here what, as conspiracy theorists, I want you, those of you who label us as that, I want you to listen to this. According to Oxfam, and I'll tell you who is Oxfam just now, a new billionaire was created every 30 hours during the pandemic. Billionaire wealth increased to staggering levels amid the COVID-19 pandemic, with a new billionaire being created every 30 hours over the past 2 years. Meanwhile, this year alone, the same body called Oxfam expects more than 260 billion people to be pushed into extreme poverty.
So that was just about to ask that, because you're going to get people who are becoming wealthy. The opposite side of it, people not.
No, you're not getting people becoming wealthy. You're getting people becoming more wealthy.
Okay.
Understand that the pandemic was created in such a way that the person will be feeling a whole set of hurt during this time. The wealthy persons were able to benefit much more. Now, those of you, I'm not going to go in at length as to what is Oxfam. Listeners, if you really want to understand what is Oxfam, Oxfam is a group that has been existing for the last 40-odd years. It has been formed so that they check throughout the world as to how to create more equality. All right? They are accredited by various organizations as being very credible. So, but you see, you don't hear about Oxfam because they come against what the media likes to portray as information out there and the information that they feed us. Now imagine if this is so, if so many billionaires are being created in this length of time, why would they want to say that the pandemic has been so harsh? Because they ain't feeling the harshness, they have felt the benefits, right? But Mr. Stuart Young, the 1.4 million persons, the majority of us have felt the hurt. Maybe you are amidst those in the billionaires who have benefited during this pandemic, so you don't feel it and you could enjoy the good life that you say in Trinidad and Tobago we enjoy. Now I know what they want to say. First of all, they want to say, listen, what is the price you pay for diesel and gas? It is the cheapest in the Caribbean you get. And what is the price you pay for this? And they're going to draw references and say, listen, those things are cheap, right? However, I could also draw references and say, yes, but how come in Dubai where gasoline is so available that people get it virtually free? How come? How come they have been able to work it with it? How come Singapore has been able to develop when they have no natural resources, when in 1965, Trinidad and Tobago and Singapore were at the same level?
Because they put the people first, Cliff.
No. The stupid people would say that. Our leaders can't say that. Right? These stupid people would say just what he said. Right? So they would want to point fingers because they are the experts and tell me that you have a good life because you're still, Cliff and Donna Samuel, still dodging poverty. So you have a good life. Right? That's what we're doing right now, you know. We're dodging poverty.
Mama guy in the population, that's what we're doing.
And you still, most of us want to feel that we need middle class. Middle class is dodging poverty, that is all.
Middle class is non-existent, my brother. Very, very slowly. I made this analogy a couple weeks ago. Just like you put a frog in a pot of water and then light the fire and eat it, that frog will be oblivious to what is going on. And that's what's happening in society today. We are feeling the impacts of all the screws being tightened, but they're not being done all at once. It's gradual. So here what? People are going through the mill, you know, going to work, getting back home, the gas price went up. We had to adjust. You're paying $100, $200 more at the pump than what you would usually pay. You have different commitments now from, you know, schools having to, you know, parents having to come out with more money for school security, school transport. And look at the backdrop of all that is happening in our nation. We have people, unions fighting for salaries from 2013 to present day, right? And you're going to tell me that all these measures are amongst a windfall in terms of natural gas and oil. And we can't settle, our government can't settle that. No, because they love to use debt to deferred payment, which is actually loss in buying power for the people that they owe, right? To take advantage of an already advantageous situation. But here, what we're not about showing up the government. We're about bringing the awareness to you guys out there in John Public that, listen, if you don't do something different, you're going to end up in the same monkey pants.
Right, because that's what Singapore did. They did something different by empowering their people, leading their people in a different way, broadening, diversifying, and different dependent on one thing. And that falls. They're going down with it, you know.
And so, it's by household, Cliff. I mean to hug the conversation, but it's by household.
Go ahead,
listen, plant a little kitchen garden, learn a little skill, whether it's welding, carpentry, masonry, auto and diesel, tiling, whatever.
Do something more.
Do something different, diversify, because here what's happening. At the end of the day, when it is a bread costs $500 in Trinidad and Tobago, you want to be able to afford it for the sake of your loved ones, for the sake of yourself. You want to be able to afford it. So what we're telling you guys and what we've been preaching and teaching and talking, hey, we care. We really, really, really do care. It's not about you just joining our network, but we're showing you the benefits of what we've been learning over the past. For me, it's 4 years. For Cliff and Donna, it might be a little longer. For Brother Noel, it might be around the same time frame. But it's getting critical, guys. It's getting critical in our country. And we want to bring that awareness so that you could be able not only to hear something, you know, but be able to do something about your situation.
So,
right? Go ahead, Chris.
So I want to show, I mean, I want Master Control put up a little slide. I want persons to just take a look, just take a read on this. No, it might look like something so simple. Some people might be laughing and saying, but do you realize, do you know that that is a serious issue in my country?
Yeah.
Do you know that it is referred to as capital flight? That is the economic term given. Do you know that many persons are now saying that they no longer want the children to grow up in this island and they want them out of here? Many persons, it have nothing to do with party persuasion now, or party, whether they're against them, had nothing to do with that. Right? So if things were so nice, why would we see these kinds of comments? Why would people feel this kind of pain? Right? And I am saying, I'm stressing to persons out there, do something differently. Come on board, get involved in our one ecosystem, be part of a community like a gentleman from Mexico called in tonight, and another gentleman named Hamza, right? Who's calling in.
But remember what Hamza said. He said it will not be oil and natural gas that will make
Knowledge moving forward.
All I want to show persons that we have community members outside of Trinidad and Tobago, and we have them all over the world, right? Get involved with a community as great as, and to show you how we care. We ain't like the PNM who use it as a slogan. We get more serious now. Let me show you to the extent of which we care. We're going to share a video with you. Yeah, tonight listeners will get a chance to more than listen to what we got to say. We're going to show you how much we care. I don't know if Master Control have that video with the young lady talking. All right, Miss Patterson. We don't. All right. Well, what we're going to share that. Well, next week we're going to share it with you guys. And the video is showing you where one of the children of our leading IMAs, right, who has been so involved in growing this vision.
That's right.
Is listen, I don't want to let out too much, but we want to come together and help her. We want to help that daughter. I mean, a bright child. Yeah, she got a partial scholarship to go abroad, but we want to let her know that, hey, when she goes out there, she must not be worried about taking care of expenses. But next week we will let go that on you guys.
But there are people who care.
Right? We go out there and we are saying, listen, while we educate financially and so on, whilst we're not advisors, we keep letting people know we're not advisors, we just share our experiences. But we able to, at least through our knowledge, be able to start questioning things that the people thought that I used to take for granted. So what you used to take for granted, your education now starts to, it puts you in a position where you start to question it. Right? So, I know what Donna has to say, wanted to say a couple of things. I know between Wayne and myself.
No, but I'm going to talk. All I want to say is for the key points in it, Wayne brought up one particular one, and I never realized it until I started to study and really become familiar with what is going on around me. We are blessed. Oil and natural gas is not just falling from the sky. We are blessed. It's a natural resource that has come to this country, and we cannot abuse it or misuse it. We also have to recognize that as a people, we have to recognize that, hey, I have to do something different because I want something different. Right? In my future, to be able to live a legacy. That's it.
Yeah, truly, Donna, as a nation, we have been blessed. You know, God has really blessed our nation with great resources, with wonderful people. You know, we are varied in our race, in our culture, and there are good people in Trinidad and Tobago. There are God-fearing people. There are people that are responsible. There are people that are honest and sincere. And what we are doing, or attempting to do on this show is to appeal to the consciences of people. We are trying to inspire and educate people, you know. That young man who was arrested on the promenade in Sao, who was doing the street trying to sell to earn a living, you know, could have been treated differently. The issues going on in our schools, this don't have to happen. Governments need to be more independent. They need to stop depending upon this international organization. And where's your sovereignty? We are hearing talks of our government signing over with other governments their sovereignty to the World Health Organization under the disguise of some future pandemic. Okay? Billions of dollars are said was spent on that pandemic. We heard also of over $1 billion. You know what is $1 billion being spent on pharmaceuticals alone every year? To what effect? People are not really improving and overcoming the diabetes. They're just drugging people. Why not use our resources, use our natural herbs? Why not create a massive factory and employ people and export to the world organic stuff, just like China or India or Singapore or Japan or whatever does? We could be doing better. What we are offering to the people is education that is bringing change, revolution, financial revolution. What does that say? It is going to empower people.
Yes.
The one ecosystem, we are offering value in context to a digital revolution, the emerging technologies, cryptocurrency. And we were the first, the one ecosystem, to do that in Trinidad in 190 something plus countries of the world. When everybody was skeptical, when everybody was fearful, they saying scam, Ponzi scheme, pyramid, they were apprehensive. We were bravely pioneering this whole digital revolution. So, you know, we have done quite a lot to educate the minds of people out there. It is up to you now, the viewers, to position yourself and get a digital wallet, get involved in some cryptocurrency project. We are offering our one ecosystem with our Forex, with our One World Foundation giving back, with our Deal Shaker e-commerce. We were in Vietnam doing donor cliff. We paid 50% in coins, 50% in cash, because, you know, the economy is in transition. To stay in 5-star hotel, eat food at restaurants. People use the coin to buy security cameras, to buy watches, to buy clothes, to buy shoes, to buy health products. And the value of our ones are appreciating in value, whereas the dollar, TT, US, whatever, is depreciating. So when you position yourself and you get the education and you acquire, after the process of mining, you acquire ones, you are adding value to your existence. You're adding value to your family, to your community. So we urge people that are viewing the one ecosystem. We bravely pioneered cryptocurrency. We bravely pioneered blockchain technology. Our leaders, people like Diamond Power Couple, Ivan and Michelle Mark, people like Anderson Chester, people like Mr. Granger, people like Mr. Edwin Wilson, the likes of Donna and Cliff, Dwayne and myself, all over the country, in fact, all over the world, pioneering, educating people. If you don't want to pay attention, if you still want to doubt, that's on you. We have done our part to show you the emerging technologies and encourage you to buy an educational package, learn about the fundamentals, learn about finance, so that you will know how to operate, learn about the trends, position yourself, make sure and get some crypto assets. is going to bless you in the end. This is a call to your people to really pay attention, to really wake up what is going on. Join the One ecosystem. Give us a call. Give us a call. Those are my closing statements.
Thank you, Brother Noel. Yes. Guys, listen. There are some major changes taking place right now. Value doesn't hop from one commodity to the next. It's transferred. Position yourself and benefit from the transfer of wealth. Please, you know, we bring this program to you every Wednesday to educate and inspire. Be inspired this evening. One's out, everybody.
Well said, well said, well said.
A great evening, listeners. So, country and outside here. Take care.
Take care. See you next week.
See you next week.
One ecosystem, you know them. We not frightened of nobody, but we respect everybody, and we better than everybody. So we will run with anybody. No fear, no better than we. No kind, no better than we. Step on me one and say, one ecosystem to the world you say. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something, do something, do something. I'm not talking. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something, do something, do something. I'm not bag of lip chasing. Aye.